Loyalty is rewarded by the ANC with protection against investigation and prosecution as the culprits who have looted state resources hide behind struggle credentials. There is no political will to take the guilty to a court of law, and it is for this reason that Zondo Commission's report is gathering dust in Parliament. The reason is simple and unsurprising. The ANC is fingered in the report of Zondo. How can those that report identified as involved in corruption be trusted to find solutions to their own immoral and illegal activities? One may ask, we all know names such as Bosasa, Chancellor House, and so on, but don't let anyone pull the wool over your eyes. The ANC has for decades had its own hands in the proverbial cookie jar in order to sustain itself in government so as to continue to avail itself of government funds. No one can really wonder anymore who the real state capturers are. It is all those who run the ANC today. Even President Ramaphosa declined to release the performance reports of his cabinet, citing that he is scared these reports will embarrass government and his party. Yes, they will. And if you had no other reason to refuse to vote for the ANC again, this will convince you. The president even stated that he was willing to fall on the sword rather than reveal the names of those who abused public funds. Does that make him a hero or just another sleazy enabler for all the thieves in his party? The government invested the workers' UIF contributions with the PIC. These funds belonged to ex-mine workers, civil servants, retired military personnel, and others. Now it is gone and disappeared in the scandal involving these funds. In the same vein, ex-government employees are sent from pillar to post when they query their pension calculations. President Ramaphosa had, in the beginning of 2023, given instruction that Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana should set up a team to investigate the pension for civil servants from the SATB states during 2023. The UDM's during 2023, the UDM's representatives and did everything within our power to facilitate the progress of the president's order. But we ran into a brick wall with Minister Godongwana, who has defied his own president's instructions. Now let me talk about the NSFAS and the SITAs. NSFAS and SITAs are other examples of government projects managed by the ANC that have been hijacked by their greedy and corrupt leaders. It makes my blood boil to think of how much has been stolen from ordinary South Africans by a political party that is in the business of stealing rather than governing. The list of smaller or similar thefts is nearly endless. Why? Because many of you blindly vote out of habit, out of guilt, to return the ANC to positions of power where they continue to feel that gives them a license to steal. Sadly, the billions of rands that were supposed to address the backlogs and imbalances of the past, build infrastructure, and create jobs have been siphoned off through corruption. These injustices took place and the culprits are walking in the streets free. The cancer of corruption has even engulfed our law enforcement agencies, where, for instance, our people are scared to stop at roadblocks for fear that the police officers will be up to no good. This has to end. Our law enforcement agencies need to be cleaned up as a matter of urgency. It is affecting perceptions of the local safety and security, and it is also tainting South Africa as an investment destination. Some of these things we witness show a total lack of patriotism on the part of these corrupt sharks. It would be advisable, for example, to teach our children at school exactly how the state works and how taxes should be used, so they know and they grow what corruption does. In the final analysis, corruption destroys freedom. Corruption destroys our freedom. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand the living conditions of some of our people. Go to the townships and our rural areas and towns to see where people must jump over puddles of sewage, yet the spending of trillions of rands has been announced over the years. It is worse in the former homelands. The worst performing province is the Eastern Cape, the province, the birthplace of Oliver Tambo, Nelson Mandela, Chris Hani, Mbeki, and so on and so on. The roads are falling apart, aside from the N2 which Sanral is working on. The taps have run dry that were set up in the time of Ministers Ronnie Crussels and Kada Asmal. There have been overwhelming calls for me and the UTM to come and fix the Eastern Cape, and it isn't as in the past, where I can use unorthodox methods to rise to power. The people must vote in the great numbers for the Eastern Cape. The UTM will reopen the factories and industries closed down by the ANC, as well as resuscitate the agricultural projects and the maintenance units used to maintain the roads without delay. The people of the region will be economically empowered to combat this neo-colonialism of a special kind, where Pakistanis dominate as shop owners. We will restore the Eastern Cape to the glory of yesteryear, where the people of the province own the province.